Welcome, staff, to the 2019-2020 school year. I'm excited to be back and ready to get started. This presentation will provide you with an overview of the school year and workshop week, as well as provide you with school and district updates. All of the work that we do at ISD 728 leads us towards our mission to educate, inspire, and empower our diverse learners to shape their futures, accomplish their dreams, and contribute positively to our local and global communities. You'll recall in the last couple of years we worked towards a new strategic plan. That strategic plan will lead us to the year 2023. We have two very specific strategies that all our work revolves around. The first of those is cultivating an innovative environment where all members of our community support a culture that is committed to embracing exceptional opportunities for all learners to achieve our mission and learner outcomes. Our second strategy is to ensure equitable opportunities and access to programs and facilities so that all learners achieve our mission, core values, and learner outcomes. So the work that you see over the next several years will be working towards those strategic plan strategies. And it will be imperative that you stay informed as we do that work. And part of my job is to help keep you informed. Please know that we do a majority of our information sharing digitally these days. And so that means it's imperative that you read your email completely and read it daily. It's important that if you miss a staff meeting that you review those notes. And it's also important that whatever committee that you represent or participating on, that you're sharing those notes and information with the people that you represent. All of our staff resources are located on a Schoology course, which this year is entitled 2019-2020 Meadowvale Staff. Please make sure that you look at this information, specifically that you're paying attention to the weekly updates. Hopefully you have things set so they come to you as an email. If not, you'll have to check into Schoology on a weekly basis to make sure you have those updates. Within there is also our Google Staff Calendar. Everything Meadowvale is on that staff calendar, including this year, Katie has added a calendar for our birthdays. We have decided in the office that we will not be doing the bulletin any longer. As we looked at that, what we were really doing is copying and repeating information from other sources. And just like you, everything is tighter. There's less time, there's less money, there's all of those things. And we really needed to look at how do we work more effective and efficiently in the office. And so one of the things we've decided to do is that we won't be putting out a bulletin this year, but we will be helping you to gather that information and help you work through this change. So don't panic. And then also know that all monthly and year-long resources are also located within that page or course. District information that it's part of my responsibility, to help share with you. A number of items are listed here, and a majority of these you will find within your blended learning work this week as you're working through this. Some of you may have already started your on-demand professional development. For those of you new to us, we have one day that we call PD in your pajamas, and it's your responsibility outside of your current work day to get that work done. Many of you have already started that as of August 1st. But those hours are due February 21st, 2020. There will be information within this blended learning about teacher development and evaluation. That's eye observation and the evaluation process, and updates will be included there. There'll be information about e-learning days. You'll be excited to know that we no longer will have to make up those weather days because we'll have those inclement days, as e-learning days. There's information within the blended learning about ALICE and other crisis situation, as well as mandated reporting and bullying reporting forms. That first week of school, we'll again send out our non-food birthday treat letter. We really encourage families to celebrate birthdays with us in a different format, and that letter will come out that first week of school. We are continuing as a district to focus around learning goals and scales, and I continue to say this is something we need to continue to work on at Meadowvale. It isn't going away, and we have to work to improve how rigorous our learning goals are and our use of them as well. You'll also see this year we're continuing the work of our PLCs, and our one-stop shop has been updated a little bit, and more information will be coming about that work. Our district goals are listed here, and I apologize if they're small and wordy. I'll quickly go through them, but wanted to share with you, these are the district goals that have been chosen at that level in order to have all schools working towards our strategic strategies that I shared earlier. So you'll see the district goals here, one around social and emotional learning and continuing adding to those components to our work, having the literacy workshop model implemented in all of our classrooms, having teachers use culturally responsive strategies in their classrooms, helping our elementary students to dream about their futures, having our PLCs meet weekly, and we'll continue to do that on Wednesdays, as that is what the district has set as the PLC day. And you'll complete 2 CAPs, which are the common assessment processes, which really is walking through the 4 questions within our PLCs. That will work towards making sure our buildings are safe and secure, that we'll have a dedicated space for our co-located mental health provider, and that the other one, which I mentioned probably back in May, and for those of you that are new to us, you'll see this as something new. One of the things that all classrooms, specialists, special ed, regular ed classrooms will be asked to do is designate a space in your classroom for students to catch their breath, something you might be hearing as called a peace corner or a calming corner. We sent out information about that in the in the spring, but as you're planning your space, please make sure to include some space for a calming corner, and I'll again share that information which came out from Shasta in May. Other building information, we'll continue to have ADSYS and Minnesota Math and Reading Corps as our interventions. We'll have a halftime interventionist in ADSYS, and I did apply for and we received the tutors for Math and Reading Corps. The hardest part is always finding those tutors. Our math tutor position is still open or vacated, and our Reading Corps position is only filled by a part-time person at this time. We're continuing to hope that we'll find more staff to fill those spots. New teaching staff to us this year. Please join me in welcoming Rebecca Beyer, half-time ADSYS, half-time 4th grade. Carrie Jacobson, who will be here 1 afternoon a week, so not a lot, but fulfill our part-time social work position. Carrie is going to be Superwoman this year and is split between 4 buildings. So please be super kind to Carrie as she tries to make that work. Michelle Klimstra is our part-time Phi-Ed, divided between here and Westwood. Grace Lunzer is our part-time music between here and Otsego. And Jordan Putz is our new co-located mental health therapist. So welcome again to all of those new teaching staff. Also, more information to share in regards to support staff. We'll be having some changes in our custodial staff. Josh, our night lead, has decided to take a position in a different location, so he will be done with us at Meadowvale as of August 23rd, and we wish him well. He's excited to have more daytime hours and get to spend more time with his family in the evenings. We'll have some new support staff. One of those I wanted to share with you here is Gaina. Gaina will be working out of our alternate supervision room space. So we welcome Gaina to Meadowvale from Hassan. Other updates, our gymnasium and Phi-Ed offices have been painted. Skylights will be updated here in the next few weeks, and we have updated our staff lounge across from the workroom space. And I have decided that our other lounge, our second lounge, will be turned into a space that we can use for win time. So often we are looking for spaces, and we really want to leave our staff lounge across from the workroom as a staff lounge and not a student space. And so having the other, what would now be referred to sometimes as the upper lounge, that space will be, we're working to put tables and chairs in there so it can be used for yourselves with small groups during win time or for assistance. Participation and responsibilities. There's lots of things that we ask you to do as staff members here at Meadowvale. There are 4 building committees, as we've had in the past. PBIS, Anchor Team this year is the new name of our leadership team, and they will be sharing more about why they've chosen that name and kind of their goals and how their things are a little bit different than maybe they've been in the past. We'll have our technology committee, and then we also have an events committee that is starting this year. As I mentioned earlier, it is essential that each team member on these committees reports back to the group they represent. I learned throughout the year last year that wasn't always happening, and so it is essential that each grade level or team figures out a way to get that information to their team members they represent so that everybody feels that they are informed and a part of Meadowvale. Other participation and responsibility things. We ask that teachers work and provide us support around bus and hall room duties, that they help to clean up the lounge, that they share in and participate in with staff treats, things like that. Please know that these schedules are coming and will be in the Schoology folder. The staff treats will look to our events committee to help us determine how we want to do that this year and if they want some changes and how we can as a staff continue to grow in our relationships with each other. And then you'll see that the meeting days are changing up just a little bit. I'm making some switches between staff meetings and committee meetings to support some of our itinerant staff that can come and make it to some of those meetings. So you'll notice a little bit of a change there, but those will be posted on our Google Staff calendar. Other things that I really would like your help with this year as we move forward in responsibilities is please make sure, classroom teachers, that you take your students to and bring them back from activities such as specialists, recess, and lunch to help support our proactive approach to positive hallway behavior. And please, as teachers, respect each other's prep and lunch by being on time to drop off and pick up your students from these activities. Please make sure that parents are informed about student progress and behaviors. We do not want them finding out in November at the first conference that there have been behavior problems or significant academic struggles since September. So you need to make sure that you're keeping parents informed about their student progress and behaviors and intervene early. Please respond to all parent correspondence within 24 to 48 hours. Review the Meadowvale Student Handbook and the district policies. The district policies will be part of your review during blended learning. And then make sure throughout each of your days here at Meadowvale that you are actively supervising. Again, making sure to be proactively supporting the expectations here at Meadowvale and positively acknowledging students that are doing what they should and intervening and interacting with students as well when they are not following those expectations. Schedules. All of these schedules you will find in Schoology in the Building Resources folder, but just know they're not quite ready yet. There's been some changes at the last minute, and just trying to get staff together to help provide input for these has been a little more challenging. So my goal is to have all of those in there by the end of the day, Friday, August 23rd. Safety things just to remember, we keep our outside doors and windows closed. Not only is there no propping, but we don't open our windows, in part for safety reasons, but even more so around the windows so that we keep our air quality system working correctly. Please make sure all visitors go through door 1 only, and that outside of school hours, and that means outside of the time that our custodian's here, that we are entering and exiting door 1 and signing in. If you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to see Keith or I. Please require that all individuals who are visitors sign in the office and get a visitor's badge. If you see someone that does not have a visitor's badge or a staff badge on, please make sure to approach them. During our first week, we will have our first fire drill, and during this blended learning time, you'll do your first safety work and drill within Alice. Our continued building focus will be around PBIS, PLC, and RTI, just as it has always been, using technology to support those 3 things. I'm excited that this year we will be looking at PLC and RTI with a little bit of a new lens. So the Anchor team will share information with you as we go through and grow and learn together. And also want to congratulate again all staff and students at Meadowvale for being a PBIS exemplar school. You may remember when I first came, one of the things we talked about was staff feeling like there were lots of dots going all over the place, and yet we hadn't really connected them. And I'm hoping that as the years have continued, you've seen that those dots are kind of lining up, and we're slowly connecting them, and we're creating that picture. If at any time you're feeling like those dots are kind of swinging out there a little bit for you, don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions so that together we can help to make those lines a little more straight or at least a little more clear for you. The back to school workshop schedule is here. I've updated a few things because I noticed, wow, there's a lot more things coming at you blended learning wise, so more like 3 hours or a little better of work. So I've added some additional blended learning or teacher work time if you get this done ahead of time on Thursday in the afternoon and taken out the work around the book study. So we'll push the book study off, and that's totally fine. Wanting to make sure you get all of this back to school information in. I will share the back to school workshop schedule with you within Schoology as well. And finally, just some of those last quick to-dos that need to get done. You need to make sure that, number one, you have your room and materials ready for open house. So please make that a top priority. And then you have a number of other things that need to be done. And I've kind of put a few of these off with deadlines as of September 3rd, because I know some of you spend time working over Labor Day weekend getting things ready. So you'll have until the end of the workday on September 3rd for your classroom schedule to be turned in, as well as your PBIS expectations. And then make sure you also have your subfolder basic information ready by the end of the first school week. I want to thank you for taking the time to kind of listen and look at those updates with me. We're going to make this another great school year. Not saying there won't be bumps along the way, not saying, as it says here, we know that there's not an elevator to success. We're going to have to take the stairs, and sometimes we have to back down a bit, or sometimes we have to stop on one of those landings. But we can walk those stairs together and help each other to reach that level of success. And I'm looking forward to another great year here at Meadowvale working alongside you.